What's up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is Power Book 2 Ghost Season 1 Episode 3. Whew, that title, they give me every week. All right. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm starting to get a little bored. You know what I'm saying? The show is cool, but I need for some things to start popping at this point. But we got a little more exposition this episode. Don't want to waste no time. Let's get right into it. So we start off the episode with Kane and Dre. They moving around the city, hitting all the corners, picking up the money from all the guys. They start busting head up in the business. You know, they go in there. The little dude say he gonna give you some money. I think he gave him like $3 or something. And Kane like was about to mess him up. And so we see that Dre is the person who kind of like, they play good cop, bad cop. Kane come up in there and bust people's head open, and then Dre goes behind him and says, you know, hey, don't make me have to come back. You got till Friday. So that's how the relationship works. Dre and Kane are coming home while Monet and Diana are at home already. And Diana is on her phone and she's looking at some guys from the GTG group or whatever, I guess, gang, affiliation, whoever. And so apparently they on Instagram flexing real hard. Kane and Diana go back and forth about it, and she's like, GTG is on the IG telling their business, and the cops gonna be coming behind them. And so they're like, don't tell Monet. And so Monet comes in the room and she like, tell me what? So they have to tell her what's going on. She gets the phone. She walks back like, oh, hell no. Kane was like, see, I told you. Glenn and Tasha argue about Silver. She tells him she could not have killed him or ordered anybody to kill him. She loved him. He says that's not what happened. They said, listen, they're going to spin it like he was working with the FBI and X, Y, and Z. And she said he was working with the FBI, but that's not the whole story. He wanted me to tell on James. He wanted me to leave with him. And he says it's not what the truth is. Okay, it's what they can sell to a jury, girl. He said, fine, put me on the stand. And he was like, hell no, I'm not about to put you on the stand. Paula like, girl, you tripping. Ain't nobody putting you on no stand. She's like, I can convince the jury that I didn't kill my husband. I know I can do this. Just put me on the stand. He was like, okay, I'm going to put you on the stand. We're going to see how it go. So she get up and leave. And Paula's like, what the hell you talking about? You can't put her on no damn stand. You crazy. He was like, nah, I'm going to put her on there. I'm at least make her think she getting put on the stand. You see that Tariq is late again, and he have a little unfriendly banter with his professor when he arrives late again. Tyrese, get up on time, Tariq. And he did finish the book. So he had extra time because he finished the book. So they start off with him. So he asked him some questions about Socrates or whatever, about Socrates and how he defended himself. And then Tariq says that virtue is in the eye of the beholder, and that basically Socrates thought he was smarter than everybody else. So he goes in back and forth with the professor about Socrates. The professor doesn't agree with him or kind of scoffs at him, like discarding all these hundreds of years of people writing stuff about Socrates. After the class is over, Lauren comes up to him and is like, listen, if you want to pass, you got to tell the people what they want to hear. Like, you can't keep going back and forth with this man because he's going to fail you. And so Tariq is like, so if he's wrong, or if I feel like I have an opinion or whatever, like, why should I shut up? That means he's going to win. And she's like, is that everything? Is winning everything to you? Because winning was everything to my brother. He ended up in the rehab. So we see that Lauren got something going on with her family. And she says, you need to recognize when people want to help you. I'm one of those people. So she kind of giving Tariq the, you know, hey girl, you know what I'm saying? He gets a text message and he leaves, of course. He meets up with Brayden and he's trying to make some money with Brayden. So he like, you want to make some money. Tasha is in jail and she's sitting down eating lunch with old girl, or she goes to sit with old girl that was asking for the morning after pill. So she gives her the pill and the girl's like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, girl, I mean, you need a pill, don't you? I get pills for my friends. You know, and she was like, well, I heard you got pulled around here. And she was like, clearly you got pulled around here too, sis. As they're doing this, we see a guy in the jail. He's taking pictures of what's going on. So he's somebody who works at the jail. He's not a CO, because he goes up to a CO and is like, hey, can you, do you have any more jobs for me today? And she like, nah, you good or whatever. So he's taking a picture. And Tasha is basically telling the girl that she knows how to move in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, she needs some help with that. The guy who was mopping and around and taking pictures, his name is Bishop. So we just want to put that right there, okay? Bishop goes over because now he has to go see the boss, which is Lorenzo. So he goes over to Lorenzo and he works for Lorenzo. So he shows the pictures and he said, well, I gave her the pill, but she gave it to somebody else. And he was like, what? And he was like, well, so she not screwing the CEO. And he was like, nah, I don't think so. She gave it away. He gets a call from Monet. She calls him about those IG posts. And he said, don't do anything about it because she thinks they should cut them out. And he says, well, his dad saved my life or something like that. So, you know, kind of like I owe him. Monet says she's going to handle it. And he's like, no, you need to let Drew handle it because Monet wants Kane to handle it, right? And so he's like, no, let Drew handle it. He needs to be the one to handle the business or whatever. Then we see Monet in the kitchen. She tells Drew and Kane that she wants Drew to go handle the business because Daddy feels like it's time for him to learn how to do things by himself. So when he walks away, she tells Kane, hey, I want you to go with him and watch him and make sure that, you know, he doesn't get into any trouble or whatever if he needs you. But make sure he don't know that, you know, you're there. He can't see you or hear you or whatever. And so Kane is cool with that. Her and Diana gonna go to Zeke's game. Tariq comes back to the room and Zeke tells him that he has a paper that's due tomorrow. He forgot about the paper and he won't be able to write it because he have a basketball game. And Tariq is like, bro, I got a paper due tomorrow too. Like, I can't just be doing all your work is what he's trying to say or whatever. And he was like, well, you gonna owe me, nigga. You gonna owe me for this. And so he's like, well, what's up? Well, you still do that weekly dinner with your aunt Monet? And he was like, yeah. He was like, well, I was going to go by because I wanted to ask permission to date Diana. And he was like, bro, Diana do not date. Right now, Monet is tripping. She said everybody need to keep the fam close. You know what I mean? Like, no offense, like, we cool. But she's saying keep the fam close. So, you know, what she say is law. So I ain't, See Tasha getting out of jail. She's going through to court. And the girl's like, you got a court appearance all of a sudden. That ain't good if you got a last minute court appearance. So they walk her in a place and she gets full hair and makeup. So she gets a little makeover and we kind of get a glimpse of the old Tasha for just a minute. Notice they had her in a nice wig and not that dusty wig that she had on last week when she was in the court. I want her to throw that wig in the trash, honey, because it is dry and it is dusty and we're tired of looking at it, honey. I don't know about you. This wig was a little bit, I mean, it was kind of dusty too, but it was a little dry looking, you know what I'm saying? But it looked better than that thing she had on. She's been brought into the room for a mock trial. So they're doing this mock trial to kind of get her on the stand to see if a jury would convict her or a jury would find her innocent. So everybody in the room has been paid with an NDA or has signed an NDA. So that means they can't talk about anything that's going on. He says, if you think that you can convince them, go ahead and convince them. Braden and Tariq, they're talking. So Braden tells him, I got some prescription pads from the doctor. You know, I could steal a few or whatever. And so Braden know how to get this prescription thing going because he have brothers and sisters that's been on prescriptions and abused prescriptions. So he already know how the game go. I mean, Tariq, like, you know, he like, bro, I know how to do this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Okay, don't worry about this part. Okay, you worry about the street stuff and I get the stuff out the pharmacy. That's what I do. We see Tasha testifying. So she testifies. She met him at 19. She basically rehashes the whole relationship. She had dreams. She wanted to be a singer and X, Y, and Z, but she ended up having babies with him. They ended up getting married. And then, you know, she started the business or whatever. He moved her from Queens. He moved her to a penthouse and they had everything they ever wanted. He asked her questions about, like, did she know about the business and, you know, how that unfolded. So she says they got pulled over one night. And so after that, he told her to hide the gun and she had to hide the gun and she was pregnant.
So she had to hide the gun because she wouldn't get searched. So after that, she knew that something was wrong. And you know, maybe, you know what I'm saying, they saying that she had set up some accounts or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he made her say at this point she didn't have a choice. She had to stay. You know what I'm saying? She had to.
So I really am starting to dislike the relationship between Monet and Diana. Monet seems to be very controlling over Diana to the point where she doesn't want her to go away to college. Monet wants to go play basketball just like Ezekiel is doing. And Monet is like, Diana wants to go play basketball just like Ezekiel is doing, and Monet is completely against this for whatever reason. She wants her to stay close to the house, and she said some shit like, what would your brothers do without you? I'm sorry, my brothers are grown men. Are you kidding me? What do you mean what they would do without me? Live their black life? I'm confused. I don't know. She talks about how Drew needs Kane. They need each other. And that's how they dynamic works. They know how to play their position. Then they talk about Tariq. And so she says that Ramirez told her everything about Tariq. And anybody who was dealing with him long enough gonna end up dead or they gonna end up in jail. Okay, so Tariq is not to be coming to my house. He's not about to be in my space and in my business. All right. So we see Ezekiel in the locker room and he's getting a lot of flack from his other /racists, okay, from his roommate, and he got a lot of trash to talk about Ezekiel not playing in X, Y, and Z, his grades, and you know they going back and forth about it. So the Coach comes in and kind of breaks it up, and he says, well, can I get an update on you playing? And he says, well, you know, I should be back out soon. You know what I mean? And he's like, well, maybe you should go out and talk to press. And he don't want to talk to the press, but he's like, you know, this is what you should do. I mean, if you want to get drafted, you got to learn how to, you know, talk to the press. You got to learn how to handle press or whatever. You should be a star. You should apologize for not being able to play or whatever. And Ezekiel's like, nigga, I'm not finna get out there and apologize. You got me, what? Me? No. Tariq sees Diana and Monet as they're going into the basketball game, and he tries to thank Monet for what she did for his mom or whatever. I think that's what he was thanking her for, but he was thanking her for something. And so he asked to sit with him, and Monet is giving him the, boy, go ahead. I don't want to sit by you, like, go ahead. So the coach comes out and he wants to talk to Monet, so they go on off to the side. So Diana is talking to Tariq about how Monet is upset about everything that's going on with the CTG boys or whatever. And so she just taking it out on everybody. Now she just don't trust nobody. You know, I'm sorry you can't sit with us. Tariq say just tell her what she want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So they part ways and going about their business. And then she calls her father and she asks her father for a favor. So apparently she got another burner phone. Monet said something later on about a family burner, so she has another burner. Scott is getting a stripper for his birthday. And guess who that stripper is? Epiphany. She comes in, honey, and she's getting it popping. At first, I thought she was about to break it down, but she just put him in handcuffs, and her homeboy called her, and she get on the phone, and she be talking on her phone. She texts him for a setup. You know, she get a text like, keep him there while I do X, Y, and Z, or keep him there while I do this. So, you know, she got him handcuffed. She playing like she on the phone. So then we see Drew is going to a meeting. So, the meeting with the guys. So the dude is kind of funny. The little dude that was going back and forth and whatever with the little, it wasn't a stutter, but it was like he couldn't find the right word. That was hilarious. Drew tells them that Monet just want to give them props for killing it in the game. You know, they doing a great job. And he was like, man, thank you. You know what I mean? I'm getting all this big up. Like, this is dope. You know what I mean? We're internet famous now. Like, dudes want to be us. They want to live this lifestyle. And Drew was like, about that, let me, one thing. You know, maybe you should just cool out with the internet thing for a while, because my mom thinks that the cops are going to be on to us. You know, she old school. Can you just chill with it just for a little while? And dude was like, oh, you want me to chill with it? You want me to chill with it? He was like, yeah, I want you to chill. He was like, oh,
okay. I mean, that's cool.
And then, like, it went from okay, that's cool, for them grabbing their guns. And I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why they grabbing their guns? Because the dude said something about Monet ain't got no D. He said something about Monet ain't getting no D in her life, okay? And then they stand up, they pull their guns like they about to go at it. And Kane steps in the middle and is like, what you gonna do? And he's like, nothing. And so he gets Drew out of the room and he's like, you know, all right, y'all, we just don't worry about it. It ain't gonna be no problem. But right when you think Kane is about to just walk away, he do a Bobby Brown, bitch, okay? He shoot at the ceiling. God. This boy ignorant as hell, okay? I promise you. And they run out of there. And as they're running out the back, they run into Ramirez and his white partner. And they start running.
They running, they dodging. They're running, and they hide
around the corner, and Kane is about to kill this police officer, and Drew was like, man, you cannot be killing the police. Right as the police officers coming towards them, Ramirez like, oh, they going this way, let's go get them. And so he's like, do you want to go? Do you want to catch the bad guys? Like, that shit was funny to me. It's like he was calling him like a puppy. Come on, let's go catch the bad guys. Run over there, he got his life saved, thank God. He got in the car and he left off with the dude or whatever. So we see Zeke is at the press conference now, and the coach is out there, and they ask him about the guy that's replacing him, the teammate that he was fussing with, and he says he appreciates the guy for warming his seat for him, but he gonna be back out there shortly, okay? Don't get too comfortable. And the coach was pissed. They went to go ask him a question. He got up, he left, he was done, okay? He was like,
I can't believe we gave you a scholarship and you come up here talking like this.
He was upset. Ramirez talks to Monet, and he's saying that basically he had been getting a lot of calls from that area because of the internet. You know, the internet and it's spreading all over the town, so they're getting calls, and so that's why they was over there in the first place and caught him. Then Monet gets a call. Well, she about to bust it open for old boy, right? But Lorenzo called her and he like, hey, come see me at the jail tomorrow. So I'm like, she's about to bust it open right now. Okay, that's what she's finna do right now. And then we see her in the morning, and she done busted open for Lorenzo. So I was like, all right, Monet, something about she ain't getting none, honey. Monet getting some. Plus some, and some more, okay? Brayden and Tariq have sold the pills. Tariq said he just need a new supplier, and Brayden is like, listen, I'm in. Whatever you want to do, let's do this shit. So they made whatever money they need to make. So now it's time for Tasha to go back to court, and guess who is going to be the cross-examination? The fake prosecutor is Tamara, honey. And Tamara came through like a whirlwind, bitch. She swooped her ass up in there and read deep out of Tasha. I said, girl, it wasn't no way them people was gonna find you innocent, girl. Not the way Tamara did you on this thing, girl. She wore you to a low gravy. So let's get into it. The accounts. What about the accounts? Well, all of these places were cash businesses, so it was easy to run the money through and make them legitimate. Right there, you're letting us know that you're expert. You're expert at this. You're smart at what you're doing. You wasn't some dumb, mindless girl who just got caught up in the whirlwind of drugs and money and you didn't know what to do. You was scared. Girl, you knew what you was doing. You was laundering money, sis. Willfully laundering money. Let's continue. Affair with the attorney. You had an affair with the attorney. He was working with the feds. Okay, you knew that he was gonna turn you and Ghost in, so you called him out to this place. You met him there. You had sex with him in the vehicle. He did not make it out of that garage. Who's to say that Ghost didn't come? Well, Ghost wouldn't do that for me. Ghost didn't care about me because then she said Ghost wouldn't do it for her because he was already Angela man by then. Okay, I was like, the shade. Oh my God. Baby, when I tell you Tamara threw shade, honey, she threw shade. Bitch, she threw the whole tree. But she said, you know who would kill him? Tommy would. If you told Tommy to go up there and kill Silver, he would kill Silver for you. And you knew what a body was, okay? I mean, baby, when I tell you she ran it down, she ran it down, okay? Then she tried to blame Angela murder on her. I said, girl, y'all doing a whole lot.
She had took your man, girl, right at the moment, girl, do everything that's going on, and he was still about to leave you, girl. Your whole family was about to crumble into 1,000 pieces, honey. Your life was in a shambles, bitch. Your man left you, he left you for the police, girl.
Tasha loses on the stand. The jury votes accordingly, giving her a 12 out of 12, guilty as hell. Girl, you was crazy for thinking your ass was gonna get up on that stand. And he told her, listen, if you don't start telling me the truth, sis, you're gonna be in jail, girl. Like, you might as well just wrap this shit up. Tamara's getting ready to leave, and McLean asks her to join the team. And she's like, listen, I know that Tasha's not guilty, but she's not totally innocent. And Sax knows everything that I know, plus some more stuff I don't know, okay? So I'm not joining this team. I know you have a reputation for getting people, you know, to move mountains or whatever, but you're not finna do that today. Not up in here. Not right now. And he says, well, you know what? Why did Sax sign a waiver for you to defend Tasha? Why did he do that? And she was like, that information is privileged. I can't speak about that information at this moment or whatever. But guess what? I'm not about to be on your team. All right, bye. I got to get my paperwork. Bye, bye, bye. Tamara, like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want nothing to do with these people. Paula is like, are you ready to drop this case now? Do you see the foolishness? Okay, and okay, that's going on around this case right now. Like, every time, like, everybody corrupt. Everybody lying. It's like, yeah, I see what's going on. But right now, that right there let me know that's not the time to back out. It's the time to double down and go all in. Girl is like, oh my God, we're finna lose all our licenses and shit playing with this whole. Monet is laid up in the bed with Lorenzo, and they going back and forth, and he says that he needs to talk to her about how she running the businesses. It's not working, okay? She needs to let Judah step up. He needs to be a man. If he's going to be a man and run the business, he needs to learn how it goes. And she's like, no, Kane is, you know, she kind of advocating for Kane, and he's like, Kane is unpredictable. And I low-key agree with Lorenzo, okay? And he says Diana needs to go to school. So now we know why she's there, and he called her there because Diana called him to talk about her going to school. Diana needs to go to school or whatever. And he stands up and he's like, it's not supposed to be this way. You weren't supposed to be running the business, basically. Like, we weren't supposed to be like this. But now that it is like this, we need to fix the situation. And when I tell you that man was fine, when I tell you that man looked good, bitch, when he got out that bed, I said, I don't know, bitch, I might be at the jail on the weekend too. If he look like that, I don't he had a very protective, he was very, you know what I'm saying, like, ooh, you know what I mean, like, they hug felt like it felt good, like I felt it when he hugged her, because I was like, bitch, he is fine, girl, woo, my God, bitch, you had me out here living la vida loca, ho, boricua, I be out there hollering, you hear me, down to the Puerto Rican festival, baby, because, ooh, he looked good to me. Lauren and Tariq are talking about everything, and they're getting their papers back, and so she gets her paper back, she looks at it, she like, boom, look what I told you, bam, you know what I mean? I got an A, you just gotta tell people what they want to hear. And so he goes to open his paper, he didn't even get an F, he got no credit, like he didn't even do the damn test. And so he asked the professor what's going on. He says, listen, a professor of my stature, I do not trifle with grading papers. I don't grade papers. Professor Roberts grades your paper. I think that's his name, y'all, I might be wrong. But the black man, he graded your papers. You need to talk to him. So he goes to Roberts, and Roberts tells him what we all knew he was going to tell him, because you didn't defend your opinion. I wanted to see what you were going to talk about, like we talked about in class. And as the black man, he gave him some really solid advice. People are going to judge you regardless of people are going to judge you regardless of how well you do. You can be very smart, you can be very dumb. Like, no, some people ain't going to care. They're just going to judge you regardless. So you might as well put your opinion out there and make your voice heard. And so he asked for him to change the grade, and he says, no, these are the consequences for not using your voice. I like what he says when he said, these institutions were not built for us. They are forced to accept us. Okay, I love that when he said that. So when you get in there, use it to every advantage you can, not to amplify what they do. Of course, you got to amplify them because you're in their school. So you got to read about their writers. You got to read about whatever. But don't forget to develop who you are, your opinions, what you think is important. Because that template that they paid for you in school is not always the best way. It's not always right. Socrates, your opinion was valid, and you should have put it in this paper. That's why you didn't get no credit for it. Monet is pissed off about everything that's going on, about them, almost getting arrested and everything that happens to them. And she goes off on them, and they're talking about who pulled first. And Drew was like, I didn't pull first or whatever. And he was like, I only pull when I have to pull. And so then they talk about Kane, who shot up the place or whatever. And she was like, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. Like, y'all got to do better than this. I'm up here trying to handle business. You got me out here looking crazy. Is basically what she's trying to say. The only reason you safe is because Ramirez helped you. So don't make me have to keep making favors and taking favors from this dude. You know what I mean? Like, handle your business. Then she goes into the kitchen with Diana, and she's like, did you call your father? Don't lie to me. And Diana lies and says no. And she like, give me the phone. So she going through the phone, looking through the phone or whatever. And she was like, play that game if you want to. You live here. Okay, I was like, girl, Monet is low-key like abusive to Diana, like emotionally abusive. Why is she so protective over Diana like that? Why she won't let that girl go? Like, that was weird to me how I ain't like that, Monet. I don't like that at all. Monet looked like a type of character like Kanan, who would kill their own kids. You know what I'm saying? She low-key looked like she would kill her own kids. And I watched there's an interview that's on YouTube that y'all guys should check out with like most of the cast on there. Tommy is doing an interview, or Lord, what's his man name? The man, child. But Tommy is doing an interview, okay? And so he interviewing everybody from the new show. So it's a really good interview, and Mary J. Blige said that her character was ruthless. Okay, she is a mother, but at the end of the day, she ruthless. And she'll do what need to do. And she was like, nah, I don't be playing. Like, I don't be joking. I don't be laughing and shit. Like, I don't be doing all that. You know what I mean? Like, she strike me as like, yeah, like Mary J. Blige. You know what I'm saying? That scene was scary as hell. She scared me. And I'm a grown-ass woman. Tariq comes back to the room, and he sees Zeke playing video games, and he is pissed off, honey. He is like, listen, you told me that you had stuff to do, you know what I'm saying? And I'm out here trying to write your paper and write my paper. So, like, we're going to have to change this arrangement up. And he was like, man, what you mean this arrangement? You know what the deal is. And he was like, if I fail out of school doing your work, then you're going to be fucked up. You're going to fail out of school, too. So this means that you're going to have to start doing some of your own work. We see Roberts in the office, child, talking to one of his students, a graduate student, and baby, she is throwing that poem. You hear me? She throwing it, honey. She got it in her hand like this. And she pitching it at that nigga, okay? So she pitching the poem at him, and he like trying to play it off like he don't want her or whatever at first. And so they getting ready to, she trying to put her out the door, but right before she get out the door, child, he turns around and locks the door, and they go to screwing in the room. Now, why this is happening, our girl, lady professor, I still don't know her name, she comes into the office, and she's sitting down minding her business. And so she hear knocking on the wall, like, what's that? She go back to random, she like, go boom, boom, boom. What's going on And then once she started hearing the percussive sounds, okay, of hot, steamy relations, she was like, oh, he just screwed me yesterday, and now I just was saying that he might be my he not, is that, oh, you know what, I'm about to. I felt bad for sis because, well, kind of didn't. Because, girl, like, what did you think was going to happen, sis? Him and the girl did talk about the book. I thought that was pretty interesting about, the book is fiction, but he wrote it about somebody, and he trying to, like, play it off that he ain't write it about nobody in particular, but we all know that he did. Monet comes back into the kitchen or back into Diana's room, living room or whatever, and she has found the secret burner phone that Diana has, and she took that shit and she smashed it with her foot. I was like, this is a lie. This is a lie, okay? Like, don't do nothing to her, girl. And she was like, how did you find out? And she was like, I figured it out. I was like, oh, shit. Monet comes into the room, and Zeke is there. She goes to or Zeke brings her. I don't know how they ended up over there, but anywho, Monet is in the room with Tariq and Zeke, and he's like, listen, you know, Zeke he gonna have to roll because I need him, you know what I mean, to help me do this test or whatever. And so he's like, if I flunk out, basically he gonna flunk out too. So you know what I'm saying? We're here. And so he was like, he just needs to talk to you for 5 minutes and that's it. So he walks out and she was like, you got 5 minutes. And so he gives her some money. And so she's like, what you giving me this for? I got the money. He was like, I just made this in a few hours. And she was like, boy, you better be careful who you calling a criminal around here. He says, I just need a supplier. We can make so much money at the school or whatever. And she was like, well, I don't trust you. I don't know you. She said, I don't know if you're going to have my back or something like that. And he was like, I'm going to have Zeke back. She was like, well, I know that, but basically that's what you're supposed to do. And she was like, and he tells her, well, listen, I know you want to run in these streets. So he's offering her a deal. Now notice she trying to get up under her husband's thumb and kind of run the business like she wants to. So this is the opportunity for her to open up herself to a new market, because now they doing corner deals. They corner boys. You know what I mean? That's a lot of risk involved in that. But you get into a white collar school, that's like unlimited money. Okay, rich people money. So like her ears start perking up to this. She only tells him that he cannot live with Zeke anymore because Zeke can't be anywhere around this. You know, he cannot be anywhere near the drugs at all. And he tells her that he'll talk, and she tells him that she'll talk to him soon. So they're gonna be in business together. Tasha calls, or she talks to Tariq and basically says, give Davis whatever he want. Like, just make sure you get the money. Like, I don't care. I got to get out of here because I'm not going to have no way to get out of here without him. Tariq says he has a plan. Tariq goes over to live with Braden. I don't know if they live in an apartment and in his house. I didn't see where that was, but I did see they had like a little secret compartment with some liquor in it that's probably going to come into use later on this season. They wouldn't show us the secret compartment unless they're going to use that secret compartment for something else later on down the line. Lorenzo, Monet, you know, and they trying to figure out a way to keep Tariq in line. So they think they figured this out. I mean, they're, you know, they seasoned professional criminals. So they know that to keep him in line, all they got to do is keep his mama in line or threaten his mama. So they call her, he calls on the phone. She answered the phone. She like, what's up? What's going on? Is everything okay? And he basically says, listen, your boy about to be working for me. And so you need to keep him in line. And if you don't keep him in line, we gonna kill him. And so she hangs up and Tasha's like, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, girl, don't even worry about it. Y'all be about to die like every other episode, sis. Just get your cornrows redone and just pray about it. Okay, that's all you can really do anyway. Okay, this episode was okay. I mean, it was okay. I needed to give me some action. I'm ready for somebody to die at this point. I'm ready for somebody to get shot, at least. Okay, like I need something. But the world building is cute. Don't get me wrong. It's just not making for, you know, compelling television. What do y'all think about this? Are y'all bored yet? Like, I'm trying not to be bored. I'm trying to hang in there with them. I am. But I wasn't really motivated to this video. That's why it's so damn late, okay? I ain't even got no jokes off on y'all because it's just, whew, child, I don't know. It's just a lot of shit going on. Tariq got a lot of pressure. It's a hurricane coming. Like, there's a lot going on. So I want to hear what you guys thought about this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know I have put my IG tag somewhere in this video, so please follow me on IG. I'm trying to get some more followers so we can get us a community going on over there, community. You know what I'm saying? So holla at your girl next week. Y'all be blessed. Peace.